So I'm going to go over these examples that are from your reading for this week and trying to answer the question that was posed by a student um, as to how to know which is the base and which is the amount in the present problem. So let's start with this first one. It says 20% of students have opted for a particular course. If there are 1,600 students in all, how many opted for the course? And one of the big ways to figure out which one is the base is to look for that word of. That's going to give you a good clue which one's the base. So I'm going to rewrite this problem, and it says 20%, 20 over 100 of. Now, here's something to know about math. Usually of will mean multiply. Okay, so 20% of, so times students have opted for a particular course. If there are 1,600 students in all, so of 1,600 equals, and then this will be your amount, which is what we're looking for. So in this case, here's our rate over 100, R over 100 times the base equals the amount. Okay. So you go ahead and multiply across. Remember, with fractions, you multiply straight across. So here above you have 32,000 over 100. And when I divide by 100, I like to just cross out the zeros. You see, like that? So this tells you that you have 320 students that have opted for the course. Okay, let's look at the next one. 40% of, there's that of again, an alloy is made up of copper. How much copper is there in 400 grams of the alloy? So 40%, 40 over 100, of means times. Then we know the alloy, that's the base, and it was given as 400, equals, and we don't know the amount. So again, put a 1 under this and multiply across. If you want to cross off these zeros right now, we can do that, okay? Because 100 goes into 400 4 times, and 40 times 4 is 1,600, so 1,600 grams of alloy. So again, remember, you include your units when you're doing these problems. Okay, here's the next one. A trader made a profit of $50,000 on selling goods that cost $400,000. What is the percentage profit he made? Okay, so now here the word of is different. Okay, because it's telling you just what the profit amount is. But he made the profit on the $400,000, so that's your base. So you have your base here, and then this 50,000 is your amount. And you're looking for the rate, right? So we're going to have that the rate over 100, which we do not know, times the base, which is 400,000, equals the amount 50,000. And so I'm trying to keep this equation just the way that you had it above, okay? A little bit different than what the reading's doing. Now we're looking for this rate, so we're going to take this 400,000 and see how it's multiplied on this side. We need to move it to this side, so we're going to divide. So rate over 100 equals 50,000 divided by 400,000. So this is the same as your equation that's in your reading that says amount divided by base. Okay, and so again we got a bunch of zeros here that we can reduce, so let's do that. Okay, then we got 5 over 40, and 5 goes into 48 times, so you have rate over 100 equals 1 eighth, okay? And now we're going to take that 100 and multiply it. It's got to come over to this side so it gets multiplied. So we have that the rate is 100 divided by 8. And let's go ahead and do that long division. And let's see, 8 goes into 10 once. And then we're subtracting, so that's 2. Bring down the zeros. 8 goes into 20 twice. That's 16. So that's a 4. And now I've got a decimal coming here. So I'm going to add another 0. And so my decimal point goes up here. And because 8 goes into 45 times. So your rate is 12.5%. The percentage profit, 12.5 or 12.5%. Okay, next says, a markswoman misses the target 8 times out of the 250 rounds she fired. What is the percentage that she misses? So here's your of. Here's your of again. Okay. And remember that the of helps you figure out what the base is. So base is 250. The base is 250. The amount is 8. And you're looking for the rate. So again, rate over 100 equals amount divided by base. Remember from above we did this. So we're going to take the 8 over the 250. And let's see, these are even, so we can reduce this fraction by 2 at least. Let's see, so that would be 8 divided by 2 is 4. 250 divided by 2, half of 250 is 125. Okay, so now take that 100 again, and that gets multiplied over here, as you know from your reading. So now the 100 and the 125, when you think of money, you can see that 25 goes into both of those. So 25 goes into 100 4 times, and 25 goes into 125 5 times. So we have 16 divided by 5. And so again, you're going to do your division. And 5 goes into 16 3 times. And then we're going to have 3.2. Looks like 3.2%. So 3.2% is your rate. That's the percentage that she misses. She misses 3.2%. Okay. Here's the next one. In a town, 20,000 people representing 5% of the population. So see again here, of the population, and we don't know the population. See how it says, what is the population of the town? So we don't know the base. The total population would be the base. Then this 20,000 is your amount. Okay, and then here's your rate. And so to find the base, as you know from your reading, base is going to be equal to amount divided by rate times 100. Okay, so 20,000 over 5 times 100. And 5 goes into 100. You know, I like to reduce these fractions if I can. 20 times. So you're multiplying straight across with the fractions. So that's going to be 400,000 people. Okay. Remember to add your units. All right. And finally, it says here 20% of a computer's hard disk space is free, while 16 gigabytes, I think that's what that is, of the hard disk is occupied. What is the capacity of the hard disk? So 20% of a computer's hard disk space. That's your base. Okay, here's your rate. So your rate, we don't know the base. And this was a little tricky because it says that 20% is free, but they give us the occupied space, right? So we're not going to use the 20% rate because the 16 gigabytes represents 80% of the disk, right? Because 20% is free, and this is what's occupied, and you subtract 100 minus 20 gives you that 80% is what's occupied. So that 16 gigabytes is your 80% of the disk space, right? And so that's still the base that you're looking for. And so we're going to use the 80 for this one. So you're going to base equals amount, which is 16 over 80 times 100, right? From your reading, you know that. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of one of these zeros. Oh, and 8 goes into 16 twice. So we have 2 times 10, so 20. So 20 gigabytes of space. That's your base. All right, so I hope that helps you kind of get an idea of when to know what's the base and what's the amount in these problems.